So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Jamal Jones, who is the Director of Business Development with the City of Harrisburg. As a member of the city's community and economic development team, Jamal addresses the needs of both new and existing businesses, including job retention and growth, expansion needs, financial incentives, permitting and regulatory guidance. His previous experience includes 8 years in workforce development, where most recently he was director of an unemployment and training program for young adults. In addition to his professional experience, Jamal currently volunteers as a board member with 3 local nonprofit organizations. When he's not working or volunteering, Jamal enjoys spending quality time with his wife and 2 kids. So welcome, Jamal. We're so glad to have you with us today. Oh, I think you're muted.
I'm sorry. No matter how many of these things that you do, there's always that one meeting where you start talking without unmuting yourself. But thank you, Ashley, and thanks for the introduction. And I'm happy to be here today to share some information with the group on how to start and grow your business. I know for maybe some of you who joined, part of the advertisement of the workshop was around loans, grants, financial tips and tricks on filling out applications, which I promise we will cover some of that in this session. I do think that depending on what stage of the game you're in, as far as operating a business, or so if you've been involved for a few years, or maybe if you're in a early stage as an entrepreneur, there's some additional information and some resources that I'll plan on sharing today, which I hope will be helpful to you. But we will cover some information around the financing aspect. Ashley, if you could. Do I need to share my own screen to pull up the presentation, or do you have it?
If you'd like, I can share it. You should be able to share your screen now as well, though.
Okay. I'm sorry, just one moment. My apologies. Just one moment here. I'll share my screen so you can see. Okay, and there we are. Can everyone see my screen there?
Yeah.
Ashley, you're able to see it?
Yeah, sorry,
Okay.
I had my myself muted that time. Yeah, it looks
all right, no
good.
problem. Okay, so as I said, we'll be talking today about starting and growing your small business. Again, my name is Jamal Jones. I'm the Director of Business Development with the City of Harrisburg. My role is within the City of Harrisburg's Office of Community and Economic Development. So we are open for business. Over the last 6 months, obviously it has been challenging. My role and some of the other roles of various individuals, including I'm sure all of us on the call, we've all needed to change and adapt. But our services at the city are still very much open. So one of the areas that I'm able to assist businesses are new business creation and growth of existing businesses. So again, we'll talk about some different resources and things which can help you out today. Relocation to the city. If you are operating business that you're not currently operating inside of Harrisburg, that's one of the things that I can assist with. Whether that be finding real estate, or if again, we talk about financing. So if there's different financial options that you'll need to maybe get the capital it would take to do a relocation, that's another area that I'm able to help out with. Expansion projects. So if you are an existing business, maybe you have had some success and are looking to grow, whether that be doing a renovation on your current location, or whether that means maybe expanding to opening a second location or another office. That's another area which the city can assist you. Large redevelopment projects. One of my colleagues at the city always likes to talk about the ability to move earth, and we're happy when we can see new construction beginning. So whether that be a larger company coming into the area, or again an existing company which may be able to open a new location. In many cases that might involve brand new construction, or it may involve a major renovation of an existing structure. That's another area that kind of falls under our community economic development team. Many times it's going to involve financing, pulling in some different partners just to make sure that those projects can be completed and are able to to serve the city and be available for the community. And lastly, planning, financing strategies, and then implementation of certain business strategies that will help your business be a success. Now, I apologize, a little. Some of the presentation, it may be a little Harrisburg centric, just in terms of certain codes and things that may fall under that specific municipality. So if you live in Harrisburg, that's great. If you live outside of the city, but maybe you travel into the city, you do business in the city, then I think a lot of this information will be relevant for you. If you happen to live in one of our neighboring townships or boroughs, again, some of the information may vary or may differ based on your municipality. But I think generally a lot of the information will be relevant to you. However, if you're calling in from maybe Pittsburgh or Staten Island, then I'm sorry, some of this information might not be as relevant. But for us who are local, I think we'll all be fine. Our department, the Department of Business Development, it provides tools and guidance to help small businesses and aspiring entrepreneurs succeed. Our office addresses the needs of both new and existing businesses, including job retention and growth, expansion needs, financial incentives, permitting, and regulatory guidance. We'll work with you one-on-one to identify resources for starting, expanding, or moving your business to the city of Harrisburg. So again, I mentioned some of that, but really, I think our department and my role really is designed, not to so much be a cookie cutter kind of role. We recognize that each business is different, and each business may have different needs. So sometimes information that I have can be presented kind of in groups or in this setting, but many times it's some of those one-on-one meetings where I find I'm really able to to help offer a lot more of the assistance that a business may need, just where we can really get together and kind of dig into creating some solutions for that business. First, I'll talk a little bit about planning and zoning. I realize some of the time that may not be one of the most exciting aspects of a business, but I do think it can be something which can be overlooked from time to time, for people who are interested in starting a business. Just because I think it's not necessarily maybe at the top of the list, just in terms of the the items that may be on the checklist for starting a business. But I think it's very important to really know what your local zoning and requirements are, because you wouldn't want to spend money or really start to extend yourself and go down a certain path with your business to find out that maybe the area where you wanted to locate is not zoned correctly for your kind of for your type of business. So what I'll do is I'll share the city has an interactive map which can show you how the city is zoned. So if you're looking at the different colors there on the map, it tells you, exactly where, certain kinds of businesses are able to be located. So just get to our key here.
Sorry, Jamal.
Yes, can you see the map?
It's just showing your PowerPoint. You might need to change your share screen so it shows your web browser as well.
Are you able to see it now?
No. Nope, there we go.
Yeah, about now. Okay. Can you still hear me?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, but yeah, the zoning map allows you to see, just how the city is zoned. So we have, commercial and residential neighborhoods. Some of the cities zoned for industrial. So that's very important to know, just with regard to, locating a business. The city has a planning director, which can be very helpful to you just in terms of learning, what those, how how the city is zoned and how that, relates specifically to, to your existing business or your new business. So again, I think it's very important just to, make sure that is on your radar, just in terms of, where you plan to locate your business. Okay. Next, we'll talk a little bit about licensing and permitting. If you're an existing business in the city, or you want to do business in the city, but you are not located in Harrisburg, there is a business privilege and mercantile permit that you need to acquire. Typically that's going to cost you $50. And then, based on types of business that you are, there may be, some additional permitting that you need to acquire, but the base is $50. Generally, that one lets us know that you are a legitimate business, but also keeps us aware of, makes us aware that you are aware of the zoning and the fire prevention permit. So again, it's a safety measure as far as the fire prevention is concerned, but also a regulatory measure, just which allows the city to know you are in business, and to allow you to receive all the benefits that a registered business would be able to benefit from. I think in this new economy, especially under since COVID-19 has been around us and among us, many businesses are moving away from the brick and mortar model. So we see more pop-up shops and pop-up vendor kinds of businesses. There is still a permit that you would need to acquire for that, even if you don't have a permanent location. From time to time, people may do, again, like a cart or kind of a pop-up kind of venture. It may be placed on someone else's property. So there is an owner's consent form, which needs to be signed off by the property owner. And then again, purchasing of that $50 license, which you're able to do through our tax enforcement office, which is room 305A of City Hall. Next, I'll talk a little bit about tax incentives. One in particular, a program that we offer in the city is called LERTA. It's a local economic revitalization tax assistance program. What that does is it provides an opportunity for existing properties in Harrisburg for owners to receive a 10-year tax abatement. That can be very important when, especially if you're starting a business and you're maybe you're going to be paying for some renovations to a property. it will allow you to, based on the type of property. So either if it's a, especially in a business case, if it's a commercial venture, if you're doing any significant rehabilitation to a project or to a property, or even a new build, based on the percentage of increase in the value of that property, it would allow you to be exempt from paying any additional taxes on that property. So for example, if you purchase a property and, based on the value of that property in the city, you would be, let's say you're paying, throw out a number, let's say you're paying $10,000 a year in taxes. Dauphin County, the tax assessment office would come out and reassess the value of their property based on the renovations that you're going to be completing. Let's say the value of property increases. You would then, let's say, from that $10,000 a year in taxes that you're paying, it goes up to $20,000 a year based on the increased value of the property. If you have applied for this LERTA exemption, what that would do for you, it would potentially allow you to be exempt from anywhere from 50%, of those new taxes, up to 100%. Again, based on the type of project. So we have straight rented residential projects, straight commercial, but then there's also mixed use. So a mixed use, typically is very popular nowadays. Sometimes you'll see some office or retail space on the first floor with maybe some apartments on the second floor. If you opted to do a mixed use project, where 70% of that would be residential, you could qualify for 100% tax abatement on those taxes. So what that would allow you to do would be, as I said, if you're starting at paying $10,000 a year, you could be exempt from paying that additional $10,000 that would have incurred based on the increased value of the property after the renovations you've done. So again, this can be very helpful for a newer business in that, that's some cost savings that you can factor in, that you would not have to pay out, in terms of taxes. Okay. So, transition kind of from the savings there on your taxes into some additional, business, financing. First, it's very important to have a business plan. No financial institution is going to, lend you money, if we're talking about loans, without having a business plan. So many people question, what does that business plan look like? How involved does it have to be? You can pretty much go online and typically find, different styles and different versions of a business plan. But typically you need to be able to lay out, what is your business? What are you going to do? Is it, are you offering a product? Are you offering a service? How do you plan to make money? How do you plan to pay that money back, to the bank, if you're going to be receiving a loan? That's generally, what they want to see. Financial institutions, need to make sure that your business is going to be viable. They need to be confident, that, again, if you're, receiving that loan, that you'll be able to make a return, that they'll be able to make, see a return on that investment into your business. So having a business plan is vital. In addition to that business plan, coming up with an expense sheet. While your business plan may not be as detailed, your expense sheet should be, pretty detailed. It should tell what your cost of operating would be, whether that is, if you're a sole proprietor, then, maybe you don't have to really manage payroll, at all, but, if you're a business that, will have, other individuals who will be on your payroll, you'll need to, consider, payroll as an expense, and other, all operating expenses. So from your rent, if you're renting space, to any advertising costs, down to your day-to-day costs of operating your business. You need to be able to be as detailed as possible, with your expenses, again, because this will all factor into your ability to receive a loan. next, you want to try and capture a financial projection for the next 5 years. Again, this shows, consistency in earning, bringing in revenue into your business. Again, all of this, plays a big part in being able to earn money, not earn money, but to receive a loan, from a bank or another, financial institution. Based on the terms of that loan, they want to see that, you're projecting to be around, at least for the next 5 years. They want to see steady growth. Again, accounting for, normal business. Obviously, if a business did a financial projection last year, they probably did not account for, some of what's going on in 2020 with regard to, statewide, closure, due to COVID-19, reduction in business. Many businesses have had to completely change their model, especially if they were in front-facing businesses that saw customers. So again, obviously you can't, project for something like that happening, but generally, all things being considered, you want to try to put together a financial projection for the next 5 years, which would show, again, consistent growth in your ability to repay a loan. In addition, these tools will give you an idea of how much you'll need to ask for, and obviously, the bank wants to make sure that they're making a smart choice by giving you a loan. Just before we move on, Ashley, are we able to? I just wanted to know if those on the call, if you could just maybe drop into the chat, maybe where you're joining us from. What part of the area you're in right now? Are you in the city or maybe outside? And then also, if you are an existing business owner, or if you're starting a business, maybe what industry, what kind of business are you're looking to go into? Just gives me a little bit of an idea of who our audience is. So we could just take a minute just to drop that information in the chat.
Sure. Jamal, there is one person calling in with their phone. I can prompt them to unmute to verbally say that if you'd like.
Okay, that's fine. If they'd like to share that way, that's no problem.
So I'll prompt it, and if they want to, they can.
Okay. While we wait on that, we'll while we wait on that, I'll move forward a little bit and just talk about some additional resources, just in terms of getting that information about financing. Obviously, that's very important. For all businesses, but especially for a startup. Just having access to capital is very important. One of the resources that I call on very often are our small business development centers. Typically, SBDCs are they're affiliated with the SBA, with the U.S. Small Business Association, but the SBDCs are typically run through our local universities. The Lehigh University has an SBDC. They are actually offering a free webinar this Friday, the 18th, on capital access. So you can see it's part one of I believe a two-part series, three-part series. Part one is on Friday, but it introduces small business loans and provides guidance on obtaining financing. So in addition to our talk today, I said we'll delve a little bit into it, but if you do want to be able to kind of dig in and go deeper and get more information on that, please check that out. September 18th, which is this Friday from 9 to 10. If you go to visit that link there, Lehigh University's SBDC, you should be able to still register. As I just received an email today about registration, so please go there and take a look. So continue just to talk about resources. For starting a business or, many of these resources here, again, I use, weekly. A lot of these organizations are our partners, that at the city that we have done workshops with, different events that the city holds. You'll find a representative from many of these organizations there. And these, many of these resources here are, available, to you again, wherever you may be here in the area. You don't have to, to reside or have your business specifically in Harrisburg. But the Community First Fund, I'll talk a little bit about the Community First Fund. In addition to traditional banks and credit unions, the Community First Fund is what's called CDFI. It's a Community Development Financial Institution. CDFIs, generally are designed to help provide funding to small businesses. Typically they're going to be working with small businesses that are, maybe in low-income communities, or generally for individuals that may have, may traditionally have difficulty, getting funded by a larger bank. So, that may be, your position right now. Maybe you are a small business. You could even be a minority-owned or women's owned or disadvantaged business. But I would say if you are looking for capital, CDFIs, Community First Fund is located in Harrisburg. It's a good idea to maybe get in touch with them and just see what types of services they have to offer. Typically it's going to be a loan for you to use for your startup of your business. Not just startup. Maybe if you're an existing business, then you may be looking for funding to, as I mentioned before, to do an expansion, just to maybe expand your services, or really just take your business kind of to the next level. And an injection of capital may be just what you need. So Community First Fund is another resource that you can look into if funding is what you need. The Harrisburg Regional Chamber in CREDIC is another great partner and resource that I use often and work with often. The Regional Chamber is a chamber of commerce, which typically the Chamber of Commerce in your area is going to be an organization that really is a kind of a hub for businesses. So they do a lot of networking events, provide a lot of useful information just with regard to economic trends in the area. So you could, if you're maybe you're looking into starting a certain kind of business, maybe a consulting firm, you may want to contact the chamber because they can provide you with information on other consulting firms that are maybe within a 100-mile radius. So that's part of the research that you want to do if you're starting a business, because it lets you know who is your competition. Gives you an idea of how successful you'll be able to be in a particular market. In addition to those services, CREDIC is an extension of the chamber, located right there on. They have offices on North Front Street, but CREDIC is an economic development corporation, which they also provide funding for projects. So again, new construction, or startup, or significant, redevelopment to an existing structure, it takes capital to do that. So unless, if I hit the lottery, then I'd probably be able to finance a lot of things on my own. But if not, before that day happens, looking into some of these different resources is typically how I advise individuals who are in business for themselves. I mentioned the Lehigh University SBDC. Kutztown University also has a small business development center. Kutztown actually services this region, even though they're located just outside of the area. Many of the SBDCs, they're free programs. So, the workshop, which I referenced earlier, regardless of pretty much where you live, you're able to sign up, for that workshop. But the SBDCs, they offer a large complement of additional services, from one-on-one mentoring. We talked about a business plan. You're able to sign up with a mentor from the SBDC that can really walk you step by step through creating a business plan, at no cost to yourself. Once you get involved with the program, sometimes down the line there may be some additional costs you would face, but typically that's only if you wanted to maybe take certain training, or there may be a certain certification that you may need to pay for. But many of the essential services that the SBDCs offer are available to you at no cost. So I work very closely with the SBDC at Kutztown University. The PA Business One-Stop Shop is another great resource, which again can really kind of be, I would almost suggest that being a step one if you're interested in starting a business. The Business One-Stop Shop, again, will guide you on how to create your business plan. Will give you additional guidance on even coming up with a name for your business, and then checking to see if your fictitious name is already being used. Again, I share a quick story. I was working with a gentleman who wanted to start a online clothing retail business, and he had a particular name that he had been, I think, working with for about a year or so. We did an online search of his name because he was looking to set up his website, and he found that someone was already using that name, spelled exactly the same as his and everything. And it was, it was pretty deflating to him because he had, grown pretty much attached to that name. But so, I do say that, checking for that name, making sure it is still available is very important. The PA Business One-Stop Shop, again, a great resource. It's part of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Department of Community Economic Development, which again offers many free services that are available to you at no cost. Final resource I have listed here is the Pennsylvania Diversity Coalition. The Diversity Coalition is designed really to be an advocate, for businesses that may be again, minority owned or women owned. If it's disadvantaged in any way, and falls under one or more of any protected classes, the Diversity Coalition is designed to be an advocate for you. One of the main services which they currently offer is a statewide supportive services program, which will help you go through the process of getting certified. Certification as a minority business or women-owned business can be very important to you particularly if you're interested in working on Commonwealth of Pennsylvania contracts. The state of Commonwealth of PA has a contracting and procurement process, which typically businesses do need to hold some form of a certification if they if they're interested in those contracts. The Pennsylvania Diversity Coalition does provide a service that helps you become certified, and really just again walks you hand in hand through the paces of going through that process. So again, these are not necessarily endorsements for any of these services, but I do share them because they are resources that I use and refer people to on a day-to-day basis. So I mean, I'm pretty sure there are other other similar resources out there. These just happen to be a few that I know of. I mentioned minority women and disadvantaged businesses. The city of Harrisburg really has a pretty well-defined program. A lot of these responsibilities also kind of fall under some of my responsibility, but we do work with these groups just to make sure that their needs are being met, just with regard to all of the other services I mentioned. So whether it's being able to get access to funding, or many times when there are large jobs being bid a lot of times in the construction industry, jobs go out for bid. Part of my role is to make sure that disadvantaged businesses have equal access and opportunity to business opportunities. Many of those businesses, may, like I said, may be disadvantaged or fall under certain protected classes, just where, historically, there has not been access to certain opportunities. So, part of our role is to assist with that. If you look in the bottom paragraph there, it kind of spells out, some of the different groups of individuals who we work with. I mentioned certification. There's actually, various third-party organizations that offer certifications. Typically it's an application process that you need to go through, which would specifically identify you, as a business that falls into one of these classes. Again, how does having the certification help? It really depends on the nature of your business and maybe who you're looking to do business with. Commonwealth of PA, many times they're looking for certain certifications. There are other entities as well that work with businesses, based on them holding certain certifications. So really what it does is, it legitimizes your business, really shows that you are credentialed and are an expert at what you do. Okay. Just want to share my contact information. Again, if you are located in the city and are interested in going into business for yourself or starting a business, or again, maybe you have an existing business, please, feel free to reach out. As I mentioned before, you do not have to be necessarily, you don't have to be a city resident, to start a business in the city. You may reside, outside of Harrisburg, but you do, maybe you have clients or offer services in the city. I can assist you as well. There's not many of you on the call, so I would say if you have certain, questions that you have about maybe getting started, or there's something that you wanted to follow up with me on, maybe something you heard today, which you wanted to get a little bit more information about, feel free to reach out, and I'd be happy to point you in the right direction. That's no problem. Okay. We can open it up if there are any questions. Feel free to answer some questions if we have any.
It doesn't look like we have any in the chat box now, but we might want to give people a minute or two to start typing. We had 2 people join in throughout the discussion, so welcome everyone. You can submit your questions via the chat box. There's someone on the phone and I had to look it up. So if they wanted to unmute and ask a question, they hit *6 to unmute. But everyone else can use the chat.
Okay, I do see one question there. It says, can I start my own business if I am a resident to the U.S.? Do you mean if you're not a resident? Well, based on that question, if you are a resident in the U.S., absolutely, you can start a business. Okay, can I start my own business if I am a resident to the U.S.? Yes, if you are a U.S. resident, then typically you would be able to start a business. I hope I answered that correctly. I thought that question was maybe speaking to citizenship. If you're not a U.S. citizen, typically you have to just be licensed to work in the U.S. So that involves the having a social security number and having I don't know if the technical term is green card or not, but typically you just have to be legal to be here and to work here if you're not a U.S. citizen. So. Any other questions, or if anyone still wanted to share, maybe what kinds of businesses they're interested in, or maybe any ideas that they have. No one put anything in the chat before. Maybe you didn't want someone to steal your idea, which I can understand that. But maybe if you do have an idea you wanted to share, there may be some other questions I can answer or some other dialogue we can have about that. So feel free to share if you have an idea maybe you're interested in or working on, or maybe need some additional guidance, then I'd love to help you out. Okay, well, I don't know if there are no other questions. I'd like to thank Ashley and thank the Dauphin County Library System. Thank you, those of you who are participating and are here on the meeting. Thank you for tuning in. I hope the information that we shared today was useful to you in some way. And again, if you have additional questions, feel free to reach out to me. And also, feel free also to reach out to any of those resources that I shared. There are tons of wonderfully talented and resourceful people there who are able to assist you in starting and growing your business. So thank you all very much.